Hi everyone, I'm Matt, sitting in for Neon Al tonight. You may know me as Glowstick, and I'm here at Verso, San Francisco with Dan of Neptune project. How are you doing, Dan?
Hey, good to meet you.
Good to meet you. So I wanted to ask you a couple questions. Starting off with, what are you most grateful for?
Life and health and family, friends, experiences, those kind of things I really hold close to my heart.
That's good. That's good. Can you tell us a little bit about the Apollo 8 Foundation?
Yeah, so the Apollo 8 Foundation was an idea that I had for a couple of years, and I wanted to sort of see more of a proactive effort from dance music artists, fans, working together to give back to the world. I felt like there was some really high-profile artists that were giving back to the world, but across the whole industry, there wasn't so much that kind of came up when you Googled that area, dance music and charity. So the idea for the foundation came about of having artists donating one show per year to the foundation. Half the money they donate goes to the charity they choose, and the remaining funds go into like a fund where the fans of dance music get to decide where that money goes. So it's kind of like a money being recycled from tickets back into the world to do good, to do good and all that. So yeah, it's an interesting partnership.
It's really fantastic. Are there any other charities or nonprofits that hit close to home for you?
Macmillan Nurses in the UK for cancer reasons in my family. They gave great care to my granddad when he was struggling with the disease, and autistic children as well for me personally, because I spent 5 years of my life working with autistic children, helping them, providing care, working with a very good friend of mine in a private company in Swindon. That went on for about 5-6 years, and I'd say that's probably one of the most life-changing experiences. It really puts into perspective the things I said about earlier, health and friends, family. And when you work with autistic children, some of them, it's quite sad they're not even able to sort of have a conversation, and you then get this kind of, whoa, I'm really grateful to have all the things that we have, and sometimes I think people take for granted.
You mentioned you worked with kids with autism. Prior to working with the Apollo 8 Foundation, has there been any other charities that you've worked with, or when did you get started working with charity work?
I think because of the autistic children with autism work I've done, that was the main sort of, although it wasn't a charity, it felt like I was giving back. So I think that would be the one area that I've worked a lot in. I didn't get paid very much, so I rather than actually doing fundraising specific events or anything like that for different organisations, that would have been my main area that I would have had a background in that.
It's really great. So now I wanted to step out of the charity-based questions and go a little deep and personal, if you don't mind. Don't worry, it won't be scary or anything. I wanted to ask, if from your close friends, if there was one word that they would use to describe you, what word would that be?
Yeah, I'm sure crazy gets spoken around a lot. Yeah, probably that one.
Okay.
Yeah, I'd say most people probably think I'm a bit crazy. But that's a good thing. I think.
Yeah.
You can be kind of good crazy.
Right. Right.
That would be the one, I think.
What would you say is your biggest strength and your biggest weakness?
I think biggest strength would be probably my determination to do things. When I get an idea in my head, I actually want to go out there and make it happen. Like with Apollo 8, and there's the brand new platform that I've founded for dance music artists to connect with their fans under a much healthier model, for the fans to sort of subscribe to them and receive various merchandise, studio experiences, VIP experiences, and their music. So it's kind of like I get these ideas, but I actually really work hard in trying to bring them to reality. So that would be I'd say that would probably be one of my strengths, just that determination and belief in in things. Weakness, I have a lot, definitely. Probably something I've got a lot better at in recent years, but self-awareness, I think, would have been one of them for a long time. Just, you know, coming across with people, you know, like my passion would come across and it would be passionate, but some people might interpret it as something else, you know, like sort of, this guy's a bit too much, or, you know, this guy needs to sort of slow down a little bit. So I'd say that was probably one of my weaknesses, which I have improved a lot on.
Oh, okay. What would you say are some of your dearest values that you hold dear?
Just being grateful in the world, really, and trying to put other people first, trying to be a good person, you know, being moral, being honest. Those are the kind of, you know, things I would say for the most part.
Those are good values. Who would you say is the most important person to you, like your icon or your role model?
So in the music industry,
in general.
In general, I mean, I'd probably have to say over the last 10 years, one person's been a huge mentor type for me, across the board, you know, with life, personal things, music, and as Jono from Above and Beyond. He's been one of my best friends, and he's taught me so much, he's helped me so much, he's been there for me when I've needed someone to sort of say, hey, you know, this is some feedback, and this is you know, it's been some tough conversations. I've had to listen to him and really sort of, you know, it's someone that really cares about you, that has those conversations to try and better yourself as you know, help better yourself as a person, and you know, see you do the things that you're capable of, but you might not be sort of channeled correctly. So it's kind of helping you back on that path and giving you advice based on experience and wisdom. So yeah, I've had a few people like that, but connecting it to the music industry, it would be him.
Oh, great. Connected with Above and Beyond there. So you are doing a dedicated, at least 1 hour segment of OceanLab for tonight.
Right.
I wanted to ask you, what is your background with Above and Beyond and OceanLab, other than your connection there with Jono? Like, what is inspiring you to do that special segment of the set?
Yeah, so I think I've been a fan of their music for 15 years now, and then obviously becoming close with Jono, and then getting to meet Parvo and Tony and James, the manager, and you know, spending a lot of time over the last, you know, many years being at events with them and all that kind of stuff. But I think it's just seeing how much they've grown, really, that is really inspiring. You know, I remember going to a couple of clubs with them when I first met Jono, 2006. You know, they were playing in 200, 300, 400 people kind of clubs, and obviously bigger events. But to see what they're doing now, playing in front of, you know, millions of people per year, which it probably is when you think about how many people come to all their shows and festivals and all that stuff. So yeah, and also I think their music for me is really the best example of vocal trance music, you know, in terms of how consistent they were with every OceanLab track they made, or every Above and Beyond vocal track. They just never really failed. I just can't think of a bad track they made with vocals. I can't think of anyone else who's made that level of vocal trance music consistently as they have.
Right.
So really it's kind of appreciation of just how incredible they are.
Great.
Yeah.
And then I wanted to go into some more music-based questions. So with Dream State number 2, Transgiving, Dream State SoCal number 2 coming up, also known as Transgiving, and that lineup is absolutely insane. And so I wanted to ask you, what do you anticipate from that event, and how excited are you in terms of playing there, and how do you feel it differs from other trance-specific genre events?
Well, I think the Dream State community is really, really special, and then, you know, the whole trance community is really special. But I think what Insomniac have done with it is to put on something for trance during a stage where trance wasn't really being covered very well by the other festivals they were doing. You know, they would have some artists playing, but nothing dedicated to the genre. So, from playing in San Francisco earlier this year, it was a really incredible atmosphere. The energy was amazing. The people were just so up for it. And I expect that to be the same in November, but sort of even better, I think, because they've done so many more dream states since then. I think that was only the second one that they've, and I think they must be on what now, 6, 7, 8, something like that.
I think so. They just
so they've they know what works, they know what people want, and they really deliver. So
great. And so, was there a specific song or artist that got you hooked into the dance music genre?
There was a couple of songs I heard that connected me to electronic music. I always remember hearing a really old track, it's a Jump Project Composure Solar Stone remix, and I must have been like 15 at the time when it came out, but I always remember listening to it, and I kept listening to it over and over again. It just had this thing, I mean I still play it in my sets sometimes, but it just had this really incredible emotion that just gave me goosebumps, and I think that was one of my earliest memories of listening to a really special trance track. So say that one. There are many others, but I do have really fond memories of that. Kind of like I remember where I was driving down this, in the back of my mum's and stepdad's car, overlooking this beautiful city, and hearing this music in my headphones in the back of the car, driving at night, that sort of thing. It's a really special memory.
Oh, that's really great. I wanted to ask you at a festival, other than Dream State, which is trance specific, what sort of music or stage might we find you at in the crowd if you were to be in the crowd?
So I would actually be listening to probably sort of techno artists, also progressive, sort of progressive guys. So Guy J, Nina Kravitz. I actually really want to see her. I've not seen her yet. I've seen videos of her playing, and I just blew my mind listening to some of the stuff she was playing. John Dickweed's incredible, Sasha, those guys. So yeah, I'd probably be listening to that. I find that more sort of interesting, and it's sort of taking you on a journey with that sort of sound and style. Whereas I find a lot of the sort of trance festivals can be a bit too much sort of, turn up, bang, 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 then the next DJ comes along, and this is why I like playing extended sets myself. I get the chance to sort of take it all the way through from 128 progressive trance to sort of 140 sort of stuff, rather than it being 5 hours of bosh, bosh, bosh. So.
Right. And techno certainly does have a sense of creating that journey feeling.
Right.
So do extended sets.
Carl Cox as well.
Yeah.
Like a legend like that. So,
exactly.
Yeah.
So I also wanted to ask you just a couple more questions. More just regular questions. What are your favorite hobbies, and do you have a favorite movie or TV show?
Favorite movie, Interstellar.
Okay.
That blew my mind. I think I saw it 6 or 7 times in the cinema.
Oh wow.
TV show, Game of Thrones. It's just a bit cliche because everyone loves it, but it's just so good. Favorite hobby, I used to collect James Bond memorabilia when I was younger.
Nice.
I had like a crazy collection of all these autographs and toys and posters and all this kind of stuff that I was geeky, is that a word? Geeking, whatever. I was just a pure geek when I was 15, 16, 17. These days, hobby-wise, I'm just getting to try and appreciate some of the countries I go to when I'm playing there, rather than seeing the airport and hotel and then flying off again. And I really like to try and spend a little bit of time seeing the country and the culture, and feeling like I was actually there rather than I was just in a nightclub and an airport and a hotel and that. So yeah, I'd probably say that at the moment. There's nothing else I'm majorly sort of hooked on in my spare time.
Are there any words you want to say to the fans that'll be watching this and that will be at the club tonight?
Yeah,
your set?
I mean, I say this all the time, but really we can't do what we do without you guys, and I honestly mean that. It comes from the bottom of my heart. So thank you so much for all the support you've given us all through the years of our music, and just how incredible passionate you are to us and about our music. So that will be my biggest message.